some movement is happening in the currency stage. First, it's important to understand that the switch to asset-backed currency is only one aspect of NESARA and GCR. I've done videos in the past about the various initiatives, but this video will focus on what is happening in the currency aspect of it only, not debt forgiveness or anything else. There's been some crypto announcements which point to a convergence of traditional financing, cryptocurrency, and decentralized financing, which just could be our new monetary system under NESARA. A lot of people are seeing this as a new financial system that's already poised to occur this year. Apparently, this won't be a complete replacement of the old system overnight, but more like an evolution, where quantum blockchain, stable coins, and AI will enable securely automate money flows. On March 17th of this year, an announcement was made jointly by the SEC, which is the Security Exchange Commission, and the CFTC, which is the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, declaring that most crypto assets are not securities, like stocks and bonds. Securities are basically investments and highly regulated for the SEC to allegedly prevent scams. The CFTC added their 2 cents, confirming that most non-security crypto assets qualify as commodities under the Commodity Exchange Act, just like gold, oil, or even oranges and other agriculture. This is a pretty significant announcement and could lead to a cryptocurrency protected by a quantum blockchain, AI-based infrastructure. Now, I don't care very much for crypto or AI because I've always preferred to have something I can wrap my hands around, like real estate or precious metals. But the world is changing, and nothing makes us more obsolete than our own failure to be flexible. So let's take a look at what's going on. It seems that this shift towards crypto and AI development is building a foundation for a transition towards asset-backed digital currencies. I'm no expert and don't understand a lot about crypto, but they're a digital currency that we've been told will be secured through quantum computers, rather than relying solely on the fiat currency model. Another caveat is the cabal cryptocurrency known as the CBDC or central bank digital currency. Don't be fooled. Their talent is confusing and usurping, so know the difference so that you don't lose your life savings. For those who don't know, the fiat currency model is where we are paying to have the Federal Reserve print money that has no collateral whatsoever. Allegedly, they are supposed to be managing our money for us without adequate oversight. They basically do what they want. This is why you're hearing so much about Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve, and its renovation. I really would like to explain how the Fed is sucking us dry because the scheme, in my opinion, isn't clear-cut, and we allegedly get the profit from the Fed, but to no surprise, we haven't gotten a dime in net profits because there's a $244 billion deferred asset that they subtract from what they owe us. The renovation of the Fed, which acts without any government approval, is costing $2.5 billion, and that just adds on to the deferred asset that offsets our profit. But it gets better. The deferred asset is the Fed's way of saying, we have lost roughly $245 billion more than we earned since 2022, and until we make back every dollar of it from future profits, the U.S. Treasury gets nothing. And by the way, we just spent $2.5 billion for an opulent renovation, which includes a private elevator for the Chairman Powell to get from his office to the cafeteria. But the media and left-wing disinformation talking heads are squawking about $400 billion that President Trump spent from 100% private donations from Trump and other donors. He's not charging us. He's giving another $400 billion, in addition to his annual salary, to the people of the U.S. So Trump spends $400 billion on an asset owned by the people and the media is apoplectic. But a liberal judge quashes grand jury subpoenas to find out why the Fed lost $245 billion of our money and is spending $2.5 billion, not million, on their building, and the media is mute. Now tell me this, if your financial manager lost $245 billion of your money, Would you fire them? Well, Congress made that not so easy as liberal judges are quashing subpoenas from Powell regarding this latest expenditure for the remodeling of the dining room at the Federal Reserve. It's kind of funny how the left made a big stink about Trump using his own money to remodel our property at the White House, but the Federal Reserve can use billions and not have to account for any of it. I really don't know how to make this theft of America any clearer to people. In the simplest way to explain, the Fed charges fees to banks for transfers and transactions, but it pays banks interest on U.S. Treasury bonds that the Fed owns, and it's theoretically supposed to give the people any profit after their expenses, which of course includes salaries and new marble floors. I don't have marble floors and walls, do you? Guys, the fraud is just so obvious and it diminishes the quality of our life. Imagine all the money that has been stolen coming back to the people. So please don't let your hate for Trump destroy our country. If you think of nothing else, just think of this. More stuff has happened since Trump has been in office this time than in the last 60 years in this country. And it's all the doings of these reptiles who have been in our government for decades, like Nancy Pelosi, Mitch McConnell, Chuck Schumer, and hundreds more. It's also really important to understand that this is not a Democrat or Republican issue. The deep state owns people on both sides of the aisle, and you just can't ever forget that, or just blindly trust somebody because they're Republican or Democrat. So now let's look at how the fusion of cryptocurrency into our financial system can be related to NESARA and GCR. First, you are going to be hearing a lot from the echo chamber in the future about the Great Reset. This is a goal of the Klaus Schwab's World Economic Forum. Don't fall for the language of the Great Reset, which is the Dark One's way of reimagining capitalism. We are told that it will usher in a one-world government, digital slavery, ending private property, and forced health interdictions. Now let's contrast the Dark One's Great Reset with the NESARA-GCR framework. This initiative includes an RV and a GCR, and it's important to understand how it works so you can differentiate it from the Great Reset. Remember, this is global finances that we're talking about. The RV is the re-evaluation of certain undervalued currencies, including the Iraqi dinar, the Vietnamese dong, and Zimbabwe notes, or ZIM bonds. These undervalued or suppressed currencies will suddenly increase dramatically in value against other world currencies. We have been told that people holding these currencies will be able to exchange them at the new rate after a period of lockdown debriefing across the world. Another crucial part of NESARA and GCR is the GFR. This is where the confusion can come in. GCR stands for Global Currency Reset, which is very different from the Great Reset. The Global Currency Reset is more of a worldwide financial overhaul, or reset of the global monetary system. The GCR is a shift away from the current, debt-based fiat currencies, which is controlled by central banks, to a completely new system backed by real assets like gold, precious metals, or other tangible assets like oil. Now that you have the terminology, this is how it might look in the future. This designation of digital commodities would not eliminate the fiat system by itself. A full transition from fiat to an asset-backed system would require separate, much larger steps, including congressional legislation, to reform or repeal the Federal Reserve Act. The Crypto Clarity helps by making decentralized assets more viable and competitive, but it doesn't mandate the shift. If the Federal Reserve were abolished, there would almost certainly be a transition period where both currencies are accepted to avoid economic disruption. Signs that would indicate such a shift include bills to audit or end the Fed, the establishment of a strategic crypto reserve or commodity-backed dollars, an announcement that crypto will be accepted for taxes and government payments, coordination with CFTC on crypto as a monetary tool, widespread government and corporate use of crypto, and updated legal tender laws. In summary, the GCR and RV will likely be an economic trigger or liberation event, where the RV of select currencies kicks off the broader GCR to a system that will take back control of our financial systems and redistribute wealth, providing security, stability, prosperity, and humanitarian funding as we eliminate the debt-based, corporate-controlled world financial system.